For the past 3 years, I've been making my own Christmas cards to send to friends and family, which you can also purchase in my shop. When I realized I've actually never shown you guys, so here we go. Starting off with the gingerbread. This was the first Christmas card I was ever going to actually send out to friends and family, and I was super excited to make my very own, and I wanted to make sure that I had my personality, my art, some humor in there. As you can see, there's already a ginger buff boy. Look at those muscles, those abs. Look at that chin. And in the top left, you'll see ginger boobs. Now, it wasn't until I actually physically received my order of cards when I realized I was going to be sending these to friends, yes, and also family. Now, my own personal family is used to my shenanigans, you know, drawing wieners, goofy things. They know that about me. It's completely normal. However, Dave's family, my husband, they're a little bit more proper and not into the whole boobs and wieners thing. This card, you can't see it in this process because it gets cut off in the top, but this card does include a nice gingerbread juicy booty and a gingerbread wiener with icing pubic hair. It is what it is. If you're used to my art, you're probably shaking your head thinking, typical Kasey. And his family wasn't upset about it. I wasn't really worried about upsetting them as much as I was just giving them some disturbance for the holidays. This was definitely something that I do end up considering in my future cards. I wouldn't say it holds me back. If I want to include a gingerbread wiener, my gosh, I'm an adult and I'm going to include a gingerbread wiener. But like I said, I'm also selling these cards in my shop, and I do like to make my art wildly available if I can. So I know not everybody wants to send their grandma a gingerbread wiener card. Though I will say it is such a small detail that I feel like it is very, very easy to absolutely miss this detail and not even see it. I think it's funny. I think it's cute. If you haven't noticed by now, the main gingerbread men in this picture are me, my husband Dave, and my once kitty. That was our one and only cat, Mr. Kitty, at the time, but he has since passed, RIP. I feel like it's pretty common for families to send Christmas cards that are family related, whether it's a cheesy picture of their family portrait on the front. And because this was my first card, I thought it would be really cute to have Dave and I on the front, and the kitty, our little family. The easiest way to make the gingerbread look like me was to give it a artist apron, put lots of colorful icing, aka paint, on it, and give it mismatched socks, because one of my iconic fashion-y things I do is I wear different colored socks. It's just my thing, I don't know. And of course, the classic bob, which, as you know today, has been this weird mix of bowl cut and growing out, and a little artist gingerbread brush for fun. Dave is a little bit more simple. He's just a gingerbread man with some hair and a striped shirt, because Dave, just like me, loves stripes. So I couldn't just leave this as a tray of cookies, so I made one of the cookies have a bite taken out of it, and instead of blood, that is red icing. And the cookies around it are looking horrified, and the finishing touches was adding the shadow of a hand reaching down to grab another cookie. I really love this piece. I think it's fun, it's festive, and it's a little inappropriate. It's me. Going into our second card, I wasn't sure what I wanted to draw, and originally I think I was just going to go into this as a purely artsy, doodly card just filled with all sorts of little trinkets and items and things just to look at. I wanted to create a busy illustration with lots of little things, and this is a problem I have with my art. When I start to sketch ideas, I have a tendency to either have a really hard time coming up with something, a doodle or sketch idea that I really like, or the very first thing I draw I love, and it's the only thing that I want to do. And then I started to think about my current art obsession. It's kind of funny looking at the design of these cards. You can actually see what I was obsessed with at the time. This year it was worms, and if you've been following my art on Instagram and Twitter and on Twitch, I went through quite the phase where I was just painting worms mostly in the grass. Sometimes I would give them a silly item. They would sometimes spell out silly things. I was mostly painting them with gouache, gouache. So doing this digitally, I had to approach it quite differently because when I worked with gouache, I was painting them in a lineless style. So for this card, I felt like it would read a lot easier if I gave the worms line art. So I started off with the words "Okay Holiday" in the center, spelled out with worms, of course. Nothing screams holiday more than some worms. Why "Okay Holiday"? I don't know, it just seemed kind of silly. I thought "Okay Holiday" was just kind of silly and weird. To be honest, most of the people that look at my worm paintings take them a minute to even notice that there's words written with the worms. So I felt like people would probably not even notice that it said something, and if they do notice, congratulations. After I got our main "Okay Holiday" worms in the center, it was time to start decorating and making this card look a little bit more festive. Like I said, worms, worms definitely scream holiday, but I wanted to really make this a holiday card. So I started to put some things in like a Christmas tree, hollies, Christmas lights, gingerbread, candy canes, a wreath. I'm an artist, so I'm not that concerned about creating a Christmas card that just screams Christmas in your face. Personally, I feel like if I received a holiday card, I would be super happy and I wouldn't care that much about what was on it. It's a silly, artsy, wormy holiday card. Oh, I guess I forgot I put some ants at the very end. I think at this point I was thinking I needed some filler, and also this is such a weird Kasey card. We gotta have ants. Ants aren't the only nod to my art I included. I included Greg the chick that sits on my head with the big red bow. It's red, it's yellow, it's Christmassy enough. So there it is. This year, I was really struggling with art block, burnout. I've been having a lot of trouble drawing lately, so for this card, I was thinking Prickle and Pear are my current obsession. It's my first comic I've ever made, and I just started doodling them, and lo and behold, the first doodle I did, I liked and thought it was cute enough. It sparked joy, and I started to get inspiration and different ideas from this doodle, so here it is immediately. If you don't know Prickle and Pear are my cat cactus comic characters. That was a lot of C's. I've drawn cat cacti for years. I've even sewn them and sold them. My goodness. I've made enamel pins of them. I draw them so much. I felt like it was about time I created some sort of story or characters that were my cat cactus characters. So earlier this year, I created the first volume of Prickle and Pear, cactus kitties that go on adventures, and this year I just knew I had to make them into a card. Prickle is the tall one with the arms standing there wrapped in lights. Well, I guess they're both wrapped in lights. And Pear is the short, round cactus cat. In the background, there is a snowman that looks like Prickle and Pear. I thought that was so cute. A tall snowman with a weird stick arm. Next to it, a round, short snowman with a weird stick unibrow, just like Pear. The first volume of the characters are just in a green field, so I was really excited to put these guys in a field of snow. Put snowflakes all over them. This is super simple and absolutely not noteworthy, yet I'm going to talk about it. I wanted to get the right scatter of snow, but I just wanted a plain circle brush, so I actually made my own brush in Procreate to create this scattered snow effect. It's super simple, there's not much to it. Like I said, it's literally just a dot scattered around, smaller dots in the background, bigger dots closer up, and the closest ones are blurry. I don't know what it is when I make comics digitally. I absolutely love blurring things really close to the viewer and having things farther away from the viewer focused. Something about it just tickles my brain in the right way. Maybe I just feel like it looks really good. I don't know what it is. Do I probably most likely overuse this effect in all of my comics? Yes, but do I absolutely enjoy it? Also, yes. But we have a tree in the foreground, blurred, and there are several larger snowflakes throughout the piece that are nice and blurred. It's the little details. Speaking of details, I was creating this piece while streaming on Twitch, and I started to make the lights glow as if they were turned on when someone kindly let me know, "Kasey, you idiot, these lights aren't even plugged in. How are they lighting up?" Imagine the embarrassment if I sent out a card that had lights lit up when they weren't even plugged in. This is why I love streaming. You guys get to bounce ideas off of me and tell me how stupid I am. too late to get a card for this holiday, but in the future, if you want holiday cards, they are available in my shop. Happy holidays to you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. But before I go, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons for their monthly support. You guys are the best. If you want early access to these videos, secret sketches, live streams, and more, check out the link to my Patreon in the description. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you this year. I'm going to see you this year before the next year. Okay, bye.